Imagine waking up in golden sheets, being worshipped like a god and having the power to execute anyone who annoys you. Sounds perfect, right? Well, if you're a Roman emperor, that dream usually ends with a knife in your back, your best friend turning on you, or your own bodyguards drowning you in your bath. Being emperor wasn't a promotion. It was a death sentence wearing a crown. On paper, being emperor was the gig. You controlled the greatest empire on earth. You had palaces, slaves, armies, and more wine than your liver could handle. You didn't have to answer to anyone. Everyone else answered to you. But that absolute power, it came with an absolutely insane price. Emperors lived in constant fear, not of war or famine, but of everyone around them. The Senate, they hated your guts. Your generals, they're one bribe away from declaring themselves emperor. Your bodyguard, called the Praetorian Guard, and they were known for selling the throne to the highest bidder. That's not a joke. In 193 AD, they literally auctioned off the empire. Let's run through a few real examples. Caligula. Caligula came in hot, generous, charming, a real crowd pleaser. But then something snapped, possibly a brain fever. Maybe just unchecked power. He declared himself a living god, demanded people to worship him, and even tried to make his horse a senator. Rome didn't mind a little weirdness, but this? Too much. In 41 AD, a group of guards met him in a corridor and stabbed him to death. His wife and daughter? Murdered too. Being emperor wasn't just risky, it was contagious. Your whole family could get deleted with you. Caracalla killed his brother in front of their mom. That set the tone. He ruled with fear, ordered mass killings, went full psycho tyrant mode. And then one day, while traveling in the east, Caracalla had to take a leak. He stepped off his horse, and one of his own guards stabbed him midstream. That was it. No glory, no final words, just murdered by urination. Elagabalus became emperor at 14. His reign was 4 years of confusion, chaos, and complete cultural whiplash. He introduced a new foreign sun god, tried to force everyone to worship it, and held religious ceremonies that baffled even Rome. He wore makeup, women's clothes, and reportedly sought gender transition surgery, which historians say may be one of the earliest examples of gender dysphoria. But Rome didn't do different. In 222, the Praetorian Guard murdered him and his mom, then threw their bodies into the Tiber River. Rome didn't care who you were, just how inconvenient you became. And then there's Julius Caesar, stabbed 23 times by people who said they loved him. And the ones I mentioned were just an example. Out of over 70 emperors, more than 50% were assassinated, executed, or mysteriously died. In Rome, power didn't corrupt, it killed. Once you became emperor, there were only 3 ways to get out. Get murdered, get overthrown, or die naturally. If you're very lucky. But the moment you showed weakness, people started sharpening their knives. Even your own family could turn on you. Wives poisoned husbands, sons overthrew fathers, uncles adopted their enemies just to survive. So yeah, you had the crown, but you couldn't trust anyone. You ruled the world, but you couldn't sleep without a food taster and a sword under your pillow. In the end, the Roman emperor wasn't the most powerful man. He was the most paranoid. So next time someone says, absolute power sounds fun, remind them that in Rome, absolute power meant absolute targets on your back. It didn't suck to be a Roman emperor because of the enemies outside the gates. It sucked because you could never trust the people inside your own palace.